Hey you guys, my name is Kuda, but you can call me Potato Mommy, and welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. I make all sorts of YouTube content, so subscribe, okay? In today's video, we are going to be talking about friendships, and more specifically, how to know you have a toxic friend or how to know you are part of a toxic friendship. So keep watching. Okay, before we get into the business of this video, I do want to say a small disclaimer, which is that sometimes people go through things, people go through situations or whatever. So sometimes people do show toxic traits, like your friends may show toxic traits, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are a toxic friend or you are in a toxic friendship. So whenever you do notice certain traits in your friends, I think it's important to maybe take them aside, sit down and talk to them and just find out like what's going on. But if certain traits become a pattern and they're constantly shown over and over, then maybe it's a time to like reassess who your friends are and who should still be your friend or who maybe needs to take a back seat in your life. Anyway, now let's get into the video. All of my sit-down videos are going to be based off of my personal experiences because that's the only thing I can talk about like fully. It's the only thing I know totally. I don't know other people's experiences. So if your experiences are different or if your thoughts are different, you're definitely welcome to tell me in the comments. I have no problems with people who oppose my thoughts and my feelings. That's how you feel. This is how I feel. But I'm just saying, I'm not talking about generic feelings. I'm not talking about everyone else. I'm talking about myself. With that said, I did ask people on my Instagram what they think a toxic friend is or what they think are the traits of a toxic friend. So we're just going to be talking based off of those as well. But to start off, I'm just going to tell you a bit about me and how I've been in friendships for, well, basically since I started having friends, I guess. So I've always been the type of person who always used to say, I don't do well on my own. I don't like being by myself. I always needed people around me. I just didn't like to be on my own. So because of that, I used to have a ton of friends. Like I would be asked to name a friend and I could name literally 50 people off the top of my head because to me, those were all my friends. I always liked having people around me. But now that I am grown, I do realize that those weren't my friends. And I'm pretty sure probably if any of those people were asked if they were my friend, only maybe one, if any, out of those people would actually say Kuda was a friend to me. But that's all in the past now. But because of that, I never really knew who was real or who wasn't. Like I couldn't decipher who was actually my friend and who wasn't because I just thought everyone was my friend. So I used to tell my secrets, my problems, everything to everyone. Don't be like that, which I realize now is like that wasn't the smartest thing for me to do because it leaves you in a position where you're so vulnerable to anyone and everyone. Like you give so many people so much power over your life and the ability to dictate like how you feel or how you act or whatever is going to go on, like how well your day is going. I don't think people really realize the importance of a true and genuine friend and just how detrimental having a toxic friend or being in a toxic friendship can be to your life. So the thing is, for me, like I said, I used to have a lot of friends and stuff like that, and that only changed maybe in like the past 2 years or so that I have been a mother for. Before that, I used to talk to everyone, hang out with everyone. I was always the life of the party, the loudest person in the room. I was always joking, blah blah blah, because I liked having people in my space. I liked having people around me. Now that I'm more grown, I do realize that a friend is such a special thing because that's literally like a person that you bring into your life on purpose. And if you knew how precious and how important your energy was, like you're alive for a reason and God still wants you to be on this earth for a reason. So it's like your life, your energy, your being is so special and so important. You just shouldn't share that with anyone and everyone. Like you need to be really intentional with the people you choose to bring into your life. And sometimes we bring people into our lives because they are good people for us. But things change over time and you need to be grown enough to realize that things have changed or they have changed or you have changed and that you don't necessarily need that person in your life anymore. I mean, it's said enough. Some people come for a season, a reason, and some people come for life. But you just need to be able to decipher like who's here for what. And when it's time for someone to go, when it's time for you to remove yourself from a situation, then you have to just be adult enough to do so. So for me, that happened when I was pregnant. I didn't necessarily do it on my own. It kind of just happened. because I was pregnant. Of course, a lot of people just stopped wanting to associate with me, which that's perfectly fine, because I understand a lot of people would be like, I don't want to be like hanging out with someone who has a child at 20, 21. Which true, I never, saw myself, at 18, I never saw myself having a child at 21. So I understand. But I actually am grateful for that. Like, life has a way of showing you changes that need to be made. And if you're not going to make them yourself, they're going to be made somehow, one way or another. And I'm so grateful that that happened, because I lost so many friends. But it's like, I lost friends in quantity, but in quality, like the friends that I did keep and the friendships that I managed to keep and conserve during that time have only grown and developed more, which I'm so grateful for. But now if you ask me, I'd probably only say like I have 3 proper friends, and like, yeah, that's about it. I probably only talk to like 3 people. Like regularly, I probably only associate with like 3 people regularly, but that's just what it is, and I'm grateful for that. So the thing is, at the time when I lost so many people when I was pregnant, right, I went through like some serious, like deep depression. I used to act like I was perfectly fine, because this happened when I was at school. So for those of you who don't know, I was at university at the time I got pregnant, and then like that's when like people started dissociating themselves from me, mainly my friends at the time. But then it's like, like you have other friends who are friends with you because of your friends, or like whatever, or like you have other people you hang out with outside of your friend group, and they all started like dissociating from me as well. And I acted like I was perfectly fine. Like I used to act like things were okay. Like I didn't care. Like I'm a bad, So like, I don't care. Like I'm strong. I can deal with that. Leave if you want to leave. Stay if you want to stay. But that was honestly one of the hardest times I went through in my life. I would literally go to my room and cry myself to sleep at least 3 nights in a week. Proper. But I wake up in the morning and act like everything's cool. I started avoiding people. I completely ditched classes, everything. Like I was just in a state where it's like I was going through so much. Like my parents didn't know I was pregnant. People didn't know I was pregnant. Well, except for the few people I told who did tell other people, but whatever. People didn't know I was pregnant. At least that's what I thought. And like I was going through such a tough time. Like, and then not to have friends during that time was so difficult for me. But then it's like, after I did have my baby, I sat down and I was like, I started thinking of the qualities that I do look for in a friend. And like, it's when I realized that the people I was shedding tears over were not really my friends, because you're not my friend if you're the only person who's benefiting from our relationship. Like if I'm not getting anything from being a friend to you, except for giving you my energy and being drained of my energy and my time, then you're not my friend. And once I came to that realization, the tears stopped. Like I moved on with my life, and I was like, sis, get up and get going. And I am thankful for my best friend Kim, because during that time I actually wasn't even talking to her, because I was so lost in like thinking I'd lost people that were important to me. But she stuck by my side no matter what. Like no matter what I put her through, she was the one person who was there like, sis. Like she came back to me one day and was like, I don't get why we're not talking. Like, and that's when like I had that revelation that like I'm shedding tears over people who don't care for me, and people who actually do care for me are like shedding tears over me, you understand? So I just feel like it's important for you to know, like, you shouldn't give people that sort of power over your life, over your happiness, over what goes on in your life. Because that's the thing with like friendships, is involuntarily you give these people so much space in your life. So you don't want to have a friend who's going to stab you in the back. And true, like some friendships end. That just happens. Like friendships will end sometimes. This is what happens. But if that person was a genuinely good friend to you, even if your friendship ends, they're not going to go around and start telling people all your deep dark secrets, or go around and start like telling people the things you've done, or blah blah blah, just because your friendship has ended. And things shouldn't be like that. You should be grown. You should be friends with people who are grown enough to understand that just because you had a falling out, or just because your friendship just isn't the same, or doesn't carry the same value in your lives anymore, doesn't mean that they have the free will and the right to just go around and tell people whatever they want about you. And those are traits of a toxic friend. That toxic friends do a lot, And this is one thing that a lot of people on Instagram said as well, was the gossip. Like, toxic friends, gossip. If you have a friend who just comes to you like, hey, kuda, yeah, Ningi was saying this about you. Ningi was saying you wakadai so. Ningi was saying how did that's question. Because if she was talking to Ningi and Ningi said X about me, then what did you say about me as well? Because there's no way she just sat there and heard Ningi going, ha, kuda no go. Nobody's going to disclose shit about me to you unless they feel comfortable enough to say it to you, because they know you're gonna say something else as well. That's just the honest truth. Another thing I noticed personally from my experience is the mean jokes. And there's someone else who said this on Instagram as well, like the mean jokes. You know, there's like that friend who's always like insulting you, making digs at you, at your life, at your personality, at the things you like or whatever. And they always try to say, oh no, it's just playful banter. That's not. There is playful banter between friends, but you as yourself can tell, Kuti, this is getting to a point where like, that's not like being playful anymore. This person is actually just taking digs at me. Because you feel it yourself, especially when they make mean jokes about the things that you feel most insecure about, or the things that you have like the most issues with. Question mark. That's not really your friend. Question mark. Another thing is the lack of support. And this one is just real no matter what. Let me tell you something. People will not clap for you. That's just facts, okay? People will not clap for you. They will clap for you once you make it past the finish line and you're winning, because they have no choice to, okay? Like, people who don't support you will clap for you once you go to finish line, because they have no choice but to support, because you've made it. No matter what, even if they wished bad upon you, you've made it. But your true friend is going to be clapping for you from the time you're at the starting line all the way through. When you lose your breath, when you think of giving up, when you start seeing black, everything up until you make it. Your true friend is going to clap for you. If they don't, let me tell you something. It's not that they can't clap for you, it's just that they won't. They choose not to. And that's just not the type of person you should be associating with. You should be with people who uplift you, who support your moves, who are going to be cheering for you, people who are going to be encouraging you. Because if you're going to be giving your energy out to people, you're going to be sharing your ideas with people, you're going to be being vulnerable with people. It should be with people who you know are going to take that and nurture it, are going to take that and be like, you know what, sis, I'm by you, I'm backing you, I'm in this with you 110%. Also though, similar to that but slightly different is, if your friend is always saying yes to every single one of your ideas without questioning, question mark. I think Jesse's coming. If your friend is always supporting your ideas 110% without questioning, without asking you, have you thought about X, Y, and Z? Question mark. That friend who's always like, another thing is, and this is the biggest thing with toxicity in friendships, is the lack of respect. If your friend doesn't respect your morals and your values, and they're always constantly trying to make you go against that, there's a problem there. Question mark. Like, if say, personally, I don't like to drink. I do take alcohol, like probably like once in a year, but I don't. So if my friend is constantly on my case, like, yo, let's go, let's drink, let's take what, blah, 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 blah. Question mark. Like, if she's there, like, so today I'm going to make sure you get wasted. Question mark. Like, why is that a goal for you, to see me go against my morals and my values? Because your true friend is making sure that you stick to what you believe in. Like, another thing, guys, is if your friend is always in constant competition with you, like, let me tell you something. There's healthy competition between friends. And this is a fact. There is healthy competition where it's like, you kind of have to, like, square up to each other to make sure you keep pushing each other. Okay, like I was saying, there's healthy competition between friends where it's like you're always trying to square up to each other. Make sure like you keep pushing each other, because you don't want to be like in a comfort zone with your friends where you're both just like in one like stagnant position, or you're like just like at a plateau, like, and you feel comfortable. That makes sense. Or like in class, like you're always trying to see, it's a competition, like who's going to be position X, whatever, this term or whatever. But where it's like anytime you get any sort of like even like minor success, they try to look for something to overshadow your moment, your 15 minutes, your success, question mark. Like, you start your own business, next thing they're like, oh, I just started a business on chakati and it's like 10 times better than yours or whatever. If you have a friend who's always trying to one up your successes, question mark, like they're always trying to overshadow whatever you've got going on or whatever like happiness is there in your life, then you should be questioning like why exactly they feel that need to be in that sort of competition for you. Like, they can't ever take a step back and be like, yo, today I'm gonna cheer for you and I'm gonna be here backing you. Why do they always need to be the one who's got the limelight and who's like being seen or who's being noticed? Or let me tell you something. I know there are people out there who say, I don't have friends, so I don't have those worries or whatever. It doesn't matter whether you call it a friend, whether you call it an acquaintance, whether you call it whatever. There is someone who is in your space. There is someone who knows you better than the next random person. There is someone who knows you somewhat. There's someone who you let in. Whether you feel like you don't let them in as much as whatever, there is someone who is in your space. And whoever that person is, you need to stop for a second and see whether they are meant to have that position in your life or not, because you're going to give your energy to people who don't even deserve it. And if you knew how special and how precious your life is, that God decided to breathe life into your bones, that you are alive at this moment and that you have this gift, you wouldn't just give your energy to anyone and everyone. And I learned that the hard way after years. I wish and I hope that there's someone who's watching this video who's going to learn from my mistake and doesn't have to make the same one, because there's so many people who I've let into my life who now I just sit back and I'm like, but what were you thinking, Koda? What? And there's so many people who I lost also due to my being a toxic friend. Like, I think that's another thing, is you need to also take a step back and see if you don't have toxic friend traits as well, because you're not always in the right, okay? You're in the wrong, and probably more often than not. And I do accept that, and I do admit to that. Like, I lost so many good people in my life because of toxic traits that I had. Maybe still have, I wouldn't know, but I can't change that now. All I can do, like, I've apologized and that's about as best as I can do. But also I do like accept that maybe those people were in my life so I could realize that I had toxic traits, and I could realize that I do also have the ability to hurt people. And now that I have realized that, I do definitely treat my friendships now completely differently. Like, my friendships are very intentional. And hopefully this video helped someone out there, because the importance of, I don't know, you don't realize just how beautiful a genuine and a true friend can be to your life, or what a great addition they can be to your life. And it's like, now I'm way more intentional with the people I bring into my life, because it's like, it's me and my son. Like, I'm not just bringing people into my life alone, it's my son's life as well. And as you grow older, you realize these things. You're bringing people into your space with your family, with people you care about, and you want them to be people who you personally, if at any time that friendship dissolves or it just isn't the same anymore, you're not going to regret the time that you had with them. Or you're not going to sit there and feel like, oh, this person now is walking around telling people everything about me and anything in X, Y, and Z, which I feel like a lot of people have had that power over me over the years. And now, like, no one does. I swear, like, now no one knows what goes on in my life other than my best friend. But, you know, people just don't know what goes on in my life anymore. You know, like my pictures on Instagram, those say nothing. But it's like, no one knows things that go on deep down in my heart, the things I think about, the things I am planning, the things I want to succeed in. Because I'm way more intentional with people I choose to share that with. And I really hope you guys take it to heart, because a friend can be such a great addition to your life, but also, if wrong, your friend could be the worst mistake you make. Like, yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm getting emotional. And also, if you learned in Chinoi at the time and you feel like I'm like talking about you, please don't feel triggered. Unless if you know you did something, then sis, I can't help you. But like, I have grown so much from that time, and I'm so grateful for everyone. I need you to understand, I am so grateful for every single person who lived my life. I don't know how to say this enough. Thank you, because you gave me reason to sit back and look at myself and say, what are my flaws? What have I been doing wrong as well? Where do I need to fix? And also, you gave me reason to sit back and realize I am important and I am precious and I am an amazing person. And if you're not going to realize that, then you don't need to be in my life as well. And also to realize that I don't need to just give myself to people, to give my energy to people, to waste away the beauty that is me on people who don't care to appreciate it. So thank you so much. And if you have watched this video up until now, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I like filming videos like this, I've realized now, because I feel like it's like I'm writing. I love to journal and I kind of feel like I'm journaling right now, but on camera I feel kind of vulnerable. So don't be mean to me in the comments. But if you do have different ideas or different thoughts to mine, definitely, you know, write something in the comments below. I'm always open to people's thoughts. It's not like I have all the right answers. I'm just talking about what I've experienced and what I've been through and what I'm going through. Also, if you have any other ideas of what a toxic friend does or acts like, say that in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. From me, Potato Mommy, that is it. I'm sending you guys love and light. Bye.